Software vendors love throwing acronyms at you until they all blur together. You hear pitches for data lakes, data marts, advanced analytics, and predictive modeling, all sold as the ultimate fix for your company's data problems. Right now, if you are an IT or business leader evaluating a major purchase, you are likely staring down two specific terms and trying to decide between them: a data warehouse and a decision support system, or DSS. Getting this wrong is expensive. Buying the wrong tool for your specific bottleneck means writing a seven-figure check for software that your team ultimately abandons. But the idea that you have to choose between a data warehouse and a decision support system is based on a false premise. They aren't competing alternatives at all. This diagram shows how they actually relate. They are two completely separate layers of the exact same enterprise intelligence stack. Think of them like the foundation and the penthouse of a single building. The bottom layer is your data warehouse. Its exclusive job is to safely store and integrate years of historical facts into a unified, stable grid. The top layer is the decision support system. This is the interactive application where executives run simulations, build models, and chart strategy. To solve your corporate data problem, you don't pick a winner between the two. You figure out which architectural layer is broken before you sign a contract. A data warehouse is designed to do one thing exceptionally well: serve as your organization's indisputable source of historical truth. In any large company, data is naturally scattered. Customer records trapped in CRMs, transaction logs in production databases, and financial histories in flat spreadsheets. None of them talk to each other. This flowchart illustrates the ETL pipeline. It is the grueling mechanism the warehouse uses to pull scattered data, scrub noise, and force mismatched formats into uniform standards. Once clean, it permanently locks data into a strict read-only historical record. Because the data is pre-flattened and highly organized, your systems can query millions of rows instantly without crashing your live production servers. But this structure comes with strict trade-offs. Building the warehouse requires massive upfront capital, and those ETL pipelines are fragile. When a source software updates, the pipeline often breaks and requires immediate engineering maintenance. It is also structurally rigid. If you want to add a single new data source into the mix, you face a slow engineering process to rewrite the database schema to accommodate it. Furthermore, warehouses process operations in overnight batches, not in real time. Your analysts are always looking at data that is at least several hours old. A data warehouse buys you historical certainty and standardized reporting across the company, at the direct cost of agility and real-time processing. If the warehouse looks backward, the decision support system is how you navigate forward. The DSS is an interactive application layer. It doesn't actually store operational data itself. Instead, it holds a model management subsystem loaded with mathematical, statistical, and forecasting algorithms. This interface shows the core function of those algorithms, running complex what-if simulations. A manager can slide a variable simulating a 15% increase in fuel costs, instantly seeing how that projects onto next year's profit margins. The system translates heavy math into visual dashboards, letting business leaders test strategic moves interactively without writing a single line of code. The primary limitation is that a DSS will not make the final decision for you. It only supplements human judgment. You still need strategic domain expertise to interpret the outputs correctly. But the most critical vulnerability of any DSS is its total reliance on the data it receives. The garbage in, garbage out rule is absolute. If you feed a DSS messy, fragmented, or unverified numbers, its predictive models will confidently deliver disastrously wrong strategic advice. A decision support system grants an organization powerful foresight, but that foresight is mathematically worthless if the underlying data cannot be trusted. In modern enterprise architecture, these two systems are designed to connect into a single continuous intelligence loop. This stack diagram shows how they map together. The interactive DSS application is installed directly on top of the data warehouse repository. Decades of pristine historical facts flow upward from the foundation, serving as baseline fuel powering predictive models. This symbiosis gives leadership teams strategic foresight backed by undeniable, audited historical fact. Deploying both systems simultaneously represents the absolute maximum in enterprise IT expenditure. It is an enormous financial investment. It also carries a high human resource cost, requiring two highly skilled, distinct teams: data engineers to constantly monitor the warehouse extraction pipelines, and data scientists to build and refine the predictive models. While they are sold as technically separate products, they operate as two halves of a single corporate brain. One handles memory, the other handles imagination. The investment rule is straightforward. The data warehouse tells you what happened in the past, and the DSS helps you figure out the future. This decision tree maps out how to allocate your immediate budget based on your current organizational bottlenecks. If your data environment is chaotic, you fall into the first path. Your departments regularly argue over whose spreadsheet is accurate, and your core performance metrics are scattered across unlinked platforms. Stop looking at predictive modeling immediately. Allocate your budget exclusively toward building the grueling extraction pipelines and laying a solid data warehouse foundation. Alternatively, you might have a mature, static environment. You have centralized, clean data and automated reporting, but those standard dashboards aren't helping your executives navigate complex market shifts. Your leadership is still relying on gut feeling to make multi-million-dollar choices. Your foundation is already secure. It is time to invest heavily in the modeling engines and interactive user interface of a decision support system. Enterprise architecture has an order of operations that you cannot bypass. You can never build a predictive penthouse until you have laid a strict historical foundation. True foresight requires facts.